Welcome to the Winbert Foundation Digital Inclusion Program. A well-written proposal is more than just a document. It is a strategic tool used to communicate ideas, present solutions, and persuade decision-makers to take action. Understanding what to include in a proposal is essential for creating clear, professional, and compelling submissions that meet the expectations of clients, donors, investors, organizations, or project stakeholders. In this course, what to include in a proposal, we will explore the major components of an effective proposal and explain how each section contributes to the overall success of the document. You will gain practical knowledge on how to structure proposals in a way that clearly defines problems, presents achievable solutions, outlines budgets and timelines, and demonstrates credibility and value. By the end of this course, you will be able to identify and explain the essential components of a professional proposal, including the introduction, problem statement, objectives, methodology, budget, and conclusion. Understand how to organize proposal content logically and professionally to improve clarity, readability, and persuasiveness. Develop the ability to include relevant supporting information that strengthens the proposal and increases the chances of approval or funding. Module 1. How to identify and explain the essential components of a professional proposal, including the introduction, problem statement, objectives, methodology, budget, and conclusion. Proposal writing is an important skill used in business, nonprofit organizations, government institutions, educational settings, and community development projects. A proposal is a formal document designed to persuade a reader, organization, donor, investor, or decision-maker to approve a project, provide funding, support an initiative, or accept a business idea. A professional proposal does not only present an idea. It explains the problem, offers practical solutions, outlines implementation strategies, and demonstrates why the proposed project deserves support. Understanding the essential components of a proposal is therefore necessary for anyone seeking to write clear, convincing, and successful proposals. The first essential component of a professional proposal is the introduction. The introduction provides a brief overview of the proposal and serves as the first impression to the reader. It introduces the organization, individual, or team presenting the proposal and briefly explains the purpose of the project. A good introduction captures attention immediately and creates interest in the proposal. It should be concise, professional, and informative. For example, if a nonprofit organization is seeking funding for a digital literacy program for unemployed youths in Lagos, the introduction should briefly explain the organization's mission, the issue being addressed, and the purpose of the funding request. An effective introduction gives readers confidence that the writer understands the subject matter and has a clear plan. The second essential component is the problem statement. This section explains the issue, challenge, or gap that the proposal intends to address. A strong problem statement is specific, evidence-based, and relevant. It helps the reader understand why the project is necessary and why immediate action is needed. Many proposals fail because they describe problems too generally without presenting facts or real-life evidence. For example, rather than simply stating that many youths are unemployed, a stronger statement would explain that, according to recent employment reports, thousands of young graduates in Lagos lack digital skills required for modern job opportunities. This provides context and urgency. The problem statement should also explain the effects of the issue on individuals, organizations, or communities. In proposal writing, readers are more likely to support projects when the problem is clearly defined and supported with logical explanations or data. Closely connected to the problem statement are the objectives of the proposal. Objectives describe what the project aims to achieve within a specific period. They provide direction for the entire proposal and help readers understand the expected outcomes. Good objectives are usually clear, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. For instance, instead of writing to empower youths, a more professional objective would be to train 200 unemployed youths in digital marketing and graphic design within 6 months. This objective clearly states the target beneficiaries, the type of training, and the project timeline. Objectives are important because they help donors or stakeholders evaluate whether the proposed project is practical and achievable. They also provide standards for measuring project success after implementation. Another important section of a proposal is the methodology. This explains how the project objectives will be achieved. It outlines the strategies, activities, tools, and processes that will be used during implementation. The methodology section should be detailed enough for the reader to understand the project execution plan. For example, in a proposal for a women empowerment program, the methodology may explain that participants will undergo physical training sessions, online mentoring, entrepreneurship workshops, and practical assessments over a 3-month period. This section may also include timelines, partnerships, training methods, monitoring systems, and evaluation techniques. A good methodology demonstrates professionalism and planning ability. It reassures funders or decision-makers that the project team understands how to execute the proposed activities successfully. In many proposals, the budget section is one of the most carefully reviewed components. The budget outlines the estimated financial cost of implementing the project. It shows how funds will be allocated to different project activities such as training materials, transportation, equipment, staff salaries, venue rental, internet services, publicity, and monitoring activities. A professional budget must be realistic, transparent, and properly organized. Inflated or unclear budgets can reduce the credibility of a proposal. For example, if an organization is requesting funding for ICT training, the budget should clearly state the number of computers required, training costs, internet subscriptions, facilitators' fees, and administrative expenses. Each expense should directly relate to project activities. Readers want assurance that funds will be managed responsibly and used effectively. A well-prepared budget also reflects accountability and financial planning skills. The conclusion is another essential component of a professional proposal. This section summarizes the key points discussed in the proposal and reinforces the importance of supporting the project. A strong conclusion should remind the reader about the problem being addressed, the proposed solution, and the expected impact of the project. It should end with confidence and professionalism. For example, a proposal seeking support for a community health outreach program may conclude by emphasizing how the project will improve healthcare awareness, reduce preventable diseases, and benefit underserved communities. The conclusion should also include a polite call to action, encouraging the reader to approve, fund, or support the proposal. In real-life situations, proposal writing plays a major role in securing grants, partnerships, contracts, sponsorships, and investment opportunities. For example, a startup company seeking investor support may prepare a proposal explaining its business idea, market opportunities, operational strategy, expected profits, and financial needs. Similarly, a school administrator seeking sponsorship for a science competition may submit a proposal outlining the educational benefits, student participation, implementation strategy, and budget requirements. In both cases, the quality of the proposal significantly affects the chances of success. Professional proposal writing also requires clarity, proper organization, and attention to detail. Grammar mistakes, poor formatting, vague explanations, and unrealistic promises can weaken a proposal. Writers should therefore ensure that proposals are well-structured, easy to read, and tailored to the needs of the target audience. Understanding the audience is very important because different organizations or funders may have different expectations and priorities. Some may focus more on social impact, while others may prioritize profitability, innovation, sustainability, or measurable results. Another important aspect of proposal writing is credibility. Readers are more likely to trust proposals that demonstrate knowledge, preparation, and experience, including relevant facts, statistics, case studies, or success stories can strengthen the proposal. For instance, if an organization has successfully completed similar projects in the past, mentioning those achievements can increase confidence among donors or investors. This is why many professional proposals include organizational background information and evidence of previous successes. In conclusion, identifying and understanding the essential components of a professional proposal is fundamental to successful proposal writing. Each component plays a unique role in presenting a clear, convincing, and organized project plan. The introduction captures attention, the problem statement explains the issue, the objectives define the goals, The methodology outlines implementation strategies, the budget presents financial requirements, and the conclusion reinforces the importance of the proposal. Together, these components create a professional document capable of persuading decision-makers to provide approval, support, or funding. Mastering these elements equips learners with practical skills that can be applied in business, education, entrepreneurship, community development, and many other professional fields. Module 2. Understanding how to organize proposal content logically and professionally to improve clarity, readability, and persuasiveness. One of the most important aspects of successful proposal writing is the ability to organize content logically and professionally. A proposal may contain a brilliant idea, a realistic budget, and strong objectives, but if the information is poorly arranged or difficult to understand, the proposal may still fail. Decision-makers, donors, investors, and clients often review many proposals within limited timeframes. For this reason, proposals must be structured in a way that allows readers to quickly understand the problem, evaluate the solution, and recognize the value of the project. Logical organization improves clarity, readability, and persuasiveness, making it easier for readers to trust the proposal and support the proposed idea. A professional proposal follows a clear structure that guides the reader from one section to another in a smooth and organized manner. Each section must connect naturally to the next. The proposal should begin with an introduction that provides background information and briefly explains the purpose of the proposal. After the introduction, the problem statement should clearly explain the issue being addressed. The objectives should then describe what the proposal intends to achieve, while the methodology explains how the objectives will be accomplished. Other sections such as the budget, implementation timeline, expected outcomes, and conclusion should follow in a logical order. When proposal content is arranged properly, readers can follow the writer's ideas without confusion. Clarity is one of the greatest benefits of proper organization. A clear proposal communicates ideas in a direct and understandable way. Readers should not struggle to identify the purpose of the proposal or the project being discussed. One common mistake in proposal writing is presenting information randomly without proper flow. For example, discussing the budget before explaining the problem can confuse readers because they do not yet understand why the project is important. Similarly, presenting project activities before stating the objectives can make the proposal appear disorganized. Logical organization ensures that readers receive information in the correct sequence, helping them understand the proposal more effectively. Readability is another important factor in proposal writing. Readability refers to how easy it is for readers to process and understand written content. Professional proposals use headings, subheadings, paragraphs, bullet points, numbering, and spacing to improve readability. Long blocks of text without proper spacing can discourage readers and make important information difficult to locate. For example, a proposal seeking sponsorship for a youth empowerment program may contain sections such as introduction, problem statement, project objectives, implementation plan, budget, and expected impact. Clear headings help readers navigate the document easily and identify important details quickly. Professional formatting also contributes to readability. Consistent fonts, proper alignment, page numbering, and organized layouts create a neat and professional appearance. Decision-makers often associate good formatting with seriousness, competence, and professionalism. In contrast, poorly formatted proposals with inconsistent fonts, spelling mistakes, or disorganized sections may create negative impressions. For instance, if a company submits a business proposal with missing headings, overlapping paragraphs, and unclear tables, investors may question the organization's attention to detail and management ability. Another important element of organizing proposal content is maintaining logical flow between ideas. Logical flow means that ideas should connect naturally from one paragraph to another. Each paragraph should support the overall purpose of the proposal and contribute to the reader's understanding. Transition words and linking phrases such as therefore, in addition, as a result, and however help maintain smooth movement between ideas. For example, after explaining the unemployment problem among youths, the proposal may transition into explaining how digital skills training can address the issue. This creates a sense of continuity and keeps the reader engaged. Persuasiveness is also strengthened when proposal content is logically arranged. A persuasive proposal convinces readers that the proposed project is necessary, achievable, and worthy of support. Organization plays a major role in persuasion because readers are more likely to trust proposals that appear structured and professionally prepared. A disorganized proposal may cause readers to doubt the writer's planning abilities. For example, if a non-governmental organization is applying for a grant to support women entrepreneurs, the proposal should clearly explain the challenges women face, present realistic solutions, outline implementation strategies, and demonstrate expected outcomes. When these points are presented in an organized manner, the proposal becomes more convincing. Real-life examples further demonstrate the importance of logical organization in proposal writing. Imagine two organizations applying for the same grant opportunity. The first organization submits a proposal with clear headings, detailed explanations, organized budgeting, and smooth transitions between sections. The second organization submits a proposal containing scattered ideas, repeated information, and unclear formatting. Even if both organizations have good project ideas, the first proposal is more likely to succeed because it is easier to read and understand. Funders generally prefer proposals that save time, communicate clearly, and demonstrate professionalism. Another practical example can be seen in business proposals. Suppose a startup company wants to attract investors for a mobile application that helps small businesses manage inventory. A professionally organized proposal would begin by explaining the inventory management challenges faced by small businesses. It would then present the mobile application as a solution, explain its features, describe the target market, provide implementation strategies, present revenue projections, and conclude with funding requirements. Investors reviewing the proposal would find it easier to evaluate the business opportunity because the information is arranged logically. Poor organization, on the other hand, could make the business idea appear confusing or unrealistic. Proposal writers must also learn the importance of prioritizing information. Important information should appear early enough to capture attention and maintain interest. The introduction and executive summary should quickly explain the purpose and significance of the proposal. Readers should not search through multiple pages before understanding the project's main idea. Similarly, objectives and expected outcomes should be clearly highlighted because these are often the sections most decision-makers focus on. Supporting information such as appendices, references, and additional documents should be placed at the end of the proposal to avoid distracting readers from the main content. Consistency is another key aspect of professional organization. Consistency in language, formatting, tone, and style improves the overall quality of a proposal. For example, if a proposal uses formal language in one section and informal language in another, it may appear unprofessional. Likewise, inconsistent numbering systems or heading styles can confuse readers. Proposal writers should therefore maintain uniformity throughout the document. This creates a polished appearance and enhances credibility. Effective organization also involves understanding the target audience. Different audiences may have different expectations and priorities. Government agencies may focus on compliance and social impact, while investors may prioritize profitability and sustainability. Donors may pay closer attention to community benefits and accountability. Organizing proposal content according to the interests of the audience increases the chances of success. For example, when writing a proposal for an educational foundation, it may be beneficial to emphasize student outcomes, learning impact, and community development. Understanding what matters most to the audience helps writers present information strategically. Technology has also improved how proposals are organized and presented. Proposal writers now use digital tools such as templates, word processors, project management software, and design applications to create professional documents. Features such as automatic table of contents, page numbering, charts, tables, and visual graphics can improve organization and readability. However, writers must avoid excessive decoration or unnecessary graphics that may distract from the proposal's main message. Simplicity and professionalism should always remain priorities. In conclusion, organizing proposal content logically and professionally is essential for improving clarity, readability, and persuasiveness. A well-organized proposal helps readers understand the project, evaluate its feasibility, and appreciate its value without confusion. Logical structure, clear headings, smooth transitions, professional formatting, consistency, and audience awareness all contribute to effective proposal writing. Whether writing proposals for business, education, community development, or funding opportunities, strong organization increases credibility and improves the likelihood of approval or support. Mastering this skill enables proposal writers to communicate ideas effectively and present projects with confidence and professionalism. Module 3. Developing the ability to include relevant supporting information that strengthens the proposal and increases the chances of approval or funding. One of the key qualities of a successful proposal is the ability to provide relevant supporting information that strengthens the writer's arguments and increases the likelihood of approval or funding. A proposal is not only expected to present an idea or request support, it must also provide evidence, explanations, and additional details that convince readers that the proposed project is necessary, realistic, and achievable. Supporting information helps decision-makers trust the proposal, understand the urgency of the project, and evaluate whether the proposed solution is worth investing in. Without adequate supporting information, even a good proposal may appear weak, incomplete, or unconvincing. Supporting information refers to any additional evidence, facts, statistics, examples, documents, testimonies, research findings, or background details that reinforce the proposal's main message. It provides proof that the writer understands the problem, has properly planned the project, and possesses the ability to deliver results. Readers such as donors, investors, government agencies, and organizational leaders often require strong evidence before approving projects or releasing funds. They want assurance that the proposal is based on real needs and practical solutions rather than assumptions or unrealistic promises. One important type of supporting information is statistical data. Statistics help proposal writers demonstrate the seriousness of a problem using measurable facts and figures. For example, if an organization is seeking funding for a youth empowerment project, including unemployment statistics can strengthen the proposal significantly. Instead of simply stating that many youths are unemployed, the proposal may explain that recent labor reports show that youth unemployment rates have continued to rise, leaving thousands of graduates without sustainable income opportunities. Such information creates urgency and shows that the writer has conducted proper research. Data also makes proposals appear more professional and evidence-based. Research findings and surveys are also valuable forms of supporting information. Proposal writers often conduct interviews, questionnaires, community assessments, or market research before developing proposals. These findings help identify real problems and determine the needs of the target audience. For instance, a proposal for a women's digital literacy program may include survey results showing that many women in a particular community lack access to computer training opportunities. This evidence demonstrates that the proposed project addresses a genuine need within the community. Research findings also help readers understand that the proposal was developed carefully and strategically. Another effective way to strengthen a proposal is through the use of case studies and success stories. Case studies provide real-life examples of similar projects that achieved positive results. They help readers visualize how the proposed project can succeed in practice. For example, an NGO applying for support to launch an agricultural training program may include a brief case study of another farming initiative that improved food production and increased farmers' incomes. Success stories are persuasive because they provide proof that similar approaches have worked before. They also increase confidence in the organization's ability to deliver results. Testimonials and endorsements can also strengthen a proposal. Testimonials are statements from beneficiaries, experts, community leaders, or previous partners who can confirm the effectiveness of an organization's work or the importance of the proposed project. For example, if a nonprofit organization previously organized ICT training for youths, including testimonials from past participants can demonstrate impact and credibility. A former participant may explain how the training helped them secure employment or start a business. Such real-life experiences create emotional connection and strengthen the persuasiveness of the proposal. Another important form of supporting information is organizational background and experience. Readers are more likely to approve proposals from organizations or individuals with proven track records. Therefore, proposals often include information about previous achievements, completed projects, partnerships, awards, or years of experience. For example, a proposal submitted by an educational foundation may explain that the organization has successfully trained over 500 students in digital skills over the past 3 years. This reassures donors or investors that the organization has the capacity to manage the proposed project effectively. Supporting information about organizational experience helps build trust and confidence. Visual aids such as charts, tables, graphs, and images can also improve proposals when used appropriately. Visual elements help simplify complex information and make proposals easier to understand. For example, a budget table can clearly show how project funds will be allocated across different activities. A graph showing increasing unemployment rates can strengthen the urgency of a youth empowerment proposal. However, visual aids should be relevant, professional, and easy to interpret. Too many unnecessary graphics may distract readers rather than support the proposal's message. Financial information is another critical area where supporting evidence is necessary. Donors and investors want assurance that funds will be used responsibly. Therefore, proposals should include realistic budgets, financial projections, quotations, or cost estimates where necessary. For example, a startup seeking investment may include projected revenue figures, expected operational costs, and market growth estimates. Similarly, a community development project may include vendor quotations for equipment or training materials. Providing detailed financial information increases transparency and accountability. Real-life scenarios demonstrate how supporting information can determine the success or failure of proposals. Imagine 2 organizations applying for the same educational grant. The first organization submits a proposal with clear statistics, research findings, community surveys, testimonials, and detailed financial plans. The second organization submits a proposal containing only general statements without evidence or supporting documents. Even if both organizations have similar project ideas, the first proposal is more likely to receive funding because it appears more credible, professional, and convincing. Another practical example can be seen in business proposals. Suppose a small technology company wants investors to fund a mobile application for online learning. A weak proposal may simply describe the app idea without supporting evidence. A stronger proposal, however, would include market research, statistics on online learning growth, competitor analysis, projected user demand, and pilot testing results. Investors are more likely to support the second proposal because it provides evidence that the business opportunity is realistic and profitable. Proposal writers must also learn the importance of relevance when including supporting information. Not every piece of information should be included in a proposal. Supporting details should directly relate to the proposal's objectives and purpose. Irrelevant statistics, unrelated stories, or excessive background details can make proposals lengthy and confusing. Writers should focus on information that strengthens the main arguments and helps readers make informed decisions. Accuracy is equally important when presenting supporting information. False data, exaggerated claims, or misleading statistics can damage credibility and lead to proposal rejection. Proposal writers should therefore verify all information before including it in the document. Reliable sources such as government reports, academic studies, international organizations, and recognized research institutions should be used whenever possible. Accurate information demonstrates professionalism and integrity. Proposal writers should also understand the importance of balancing facts with human impact. While statistics and financial data are important, emotional connection can also influence decision-making. For example, a proposal seeking support for internally displaced persons may include both statistical information about displacement and personal stories of affected families. Combining facts with real human experiences creates a stronger and more persuasive proposal. Another key factor is presentation. Supporting information should be organized neatly within the proposal. Tables, charts, appendices, and references should be properly labeled and easy to locate. Important information should be summarized clearly rather than hidden within long paragraphs. Readers should be able to quickly identify the evidence supporting the proposal's arguments. Professional presentation improves readability and demonstrates attention to detail. In conclusion, including relevant supporting information is essential for developing strong, persuasive, and credible proposals. Supporting evidence such as statistics, surveys, research findings, case studies, testimonials, financial records, and organizational achievements helps strengthen proposals and increases the chances of approval or funding. Readers are more likely to trust proposals that are supported by facts, evidence, and realistic planning. Proposal writers must therefore learn how to select accurate, relevant, and well-organized supporting information that aligns with the project's goals and audience expectations. Mastering this skill enables individuals and organizations to present convincing proposals that attract support, funding, and partnership opportunities. We have now come to the end of this course. Thank you.